Hi, in this video I'd like to share with you my thoughts around a structured approach to addressing social anxiety and low self-esteem. And I think the very first thing that really needs addressing is mindset. And for many people, we think, oh, we're not good enough, there's something wrong with us, we need to change ourselves, and it's a case of we have to repair um, flaws in ourselves then. But the thing is, a lot of these thoughts come from actually absorbing other people's opinions of ourselves. And the second we start absorbing, we sort of take ownership of that belief system. But I can assure you, we're all capable of doing whatever we turn our minds and thoughts to. And we shouldn't let the opinions of other people hold us back. And if we do have a really bad opinion of ourselves based on the opinions of others, etc., then they need addressing really, and probably the best approach for that might be therapy. Now, getting back to mindset, rather than have this mindset of repair and the opinion you have of yourself today, the opinion you have of yourself today doesn't have to be the opinion of yourself tomorrow. And as I say, we're all capable of doing whatever we turn our minds and thoughts to. So a little bit of self-belief can go a long way. And what I would say as a mindset and approach is to be open-minded, and rather than think of repair, think about what we can do to build upon who we are today. And there are many things that we can do to invest time and money wisely. If I was to go back to I was about 20, I think, I did sport karate. And basically what you do is you learn techniques initially. And then being sport karate, the whole point of the sport is one of scoring points. You score points against your opponent while defending yourself. So after you've gained a certain base level of technique and understanding, you will go into light sparring, and it's really basic stuff. It's based around the techniques that you've learnt, but it's free flow. And what you're doing is you're defending yourself whilst also looking for weaknesses in your opponent and positioning yourself to land scoring strikes. And again, as I say, this is all light contact. There's nothing heavy. But what you're actually doing is you're sort of training your mind and your body to flow together, and you become to a point where you're fluid and in a state of flux, and your mind, as I say, is fluid. There's no stress as such. There's no stress, and it's not a vacant state of mind because you're obviously focused, but it's really hard to sort of explain. You're not stressed. You're alert. You're aware, and you're sort of like on a level where you're thinking, and you sort of say you're there. You're watching your opponent, and you're countering any kind of oncoming moves and attacks, whilst also looking for weaknesses in your opponent at the same time. And your mind just comes to a state of flux where it's not stress, it's just focus. That's all it is. It's focused. It's focused on weaknesses and also incoming attacks as well. And from a state of mind, because if I was to sort of like put it across you, anxiousness is probably tensed up. And what you actually are in a state of mind in that situation is relaxed, you're fluid, and you're not tensed up, and you're in a state of concentration. And because you're in that sort of state, you can move fast, you can react fast, you're not tensed up, and there's no anxiousness. And the other beauty with martial arts in that respect is that you're not sparring against the same opponent. As I say, it's only like sparring. It's nothing heavy. You're not receiving heavy blows. Certainly not initially, and you're never put out of your comfort zone. So you're always working within your limitations and boundaries. But you're also sparring against experienced practitioners, and also not so much experienced practitioners, and even people who have very little experience as well, including the same level as yourself. So from that respect, it's all good, and it helps to build a balanced state of mind. And any instructor worth his weight is going to work on the psychology as well as the actual physical. So you get to a point where you're physically strong, mentally strong. As I say, you're encountering something new all the time, but your mind's in a state of fluidity. And of course, sport karate is just one example. And there's many more effective martial arts out there. BJJ is up there. MMA is up there. I would say boxing, but I think boxing is very much sort of chucked in the deep end. And your anxiousness may be never actually addressing that sort of situation, simply because, as I say, you're chucked in the deep end and you're receiving heavy blows. So from a point of where you are mentally on that, you're going to be highly stressed and highly pressured all the time, simply because of the situation. Which is why I say go the martial arts route, because it's working within your limitations, never put out of your comfort zone, and you're always building upon techniques and the experience that has gone before. And the same with the physical side of things as well. Speaking of physical side of things, another good thing we can do is gym membership. Now, any good gym instructor will encourage you to get involved with the other members and build a social culture of building strength, fitness. But they say that there's also the social culture that goes with that. And again, that's money well spent, because the instructors there, they will actively get you involved, actively encourage a social culture of progression. And obviously the benefits to your health are all good as well. But obviously, if you do have any health concerns, get yourself checked out by a doctor first. And another really useful thing that we can do is find an employer who actually invests in their staff, ones who are dedicated to training their staff and developing them and bringing the best out of them. And there's many employers out there. I could give Tesco as an example of one. I found them very, very good. Managers are highly focused on training you and developing you. And developing includes social interaction, it includes teamwork, and from a social confidence point of view, it's a win-win situation, and you're being paid for your work at the same time. So you're improving and you're being paid. What more could you ask for? So these are easy, simple things that we could be doing. Obviously, in the case of martial arts membership, gym membership, okay, there's a cost involved in that. But even if we can't afford those things, finding an employer who actually invests in us is a really good platform to start from. And I say that the mindset is one of building rather than repairing. Draw a line under who you are today and plan for tomorrow. And hopefully this video has been of help. Please leave comments, and thank you for watching.